Hello and welcome to another daily market update by Market Intel. Today we want to take a look at the Fantom chart. We haven't looked at Fantom in a very long time, so it's time for an update, especially because the chart looks currently quite interesting because we are in one of our trading areas. So let's take a look at the chart. Let's go. So we are on the dailymarketupdate.com website. Here we can click on the cryptocurrencies section. As you can see, we also cover a range of other assets, including the oil market, gold, the Nasdaq, S&P 500, and so on. If you're interested in daily updates about these, feel free to use the link in the description. You can then register on our website completely for free, and you get all of these daily Elliott-Wave updates. As you can see here on the screen, we updated Bitcoin, Ethereum again, VeChain, Polygon. And when we click on the Fantom cryptocurrency, we can see the text, the analysis written out, support and resistance levels, and you get access to these charts, which are updated regularly. So take a look at it if you're interested. What we do in this video, we take a look at the weekly chart first, and that gives you a good idea of the overall long-term targets for Fantom. And then we also will take a look at the 4-hour time frame. That gives you a good idea of the shorter time frame. So let's take a look at the weekly first. That is the Fantom chart. That is the long-term chart. Looks quite similar to many other cryptocurrencies as well. Fantom could be working on this third wave rally to the upside. This is obviously the long-term chart. It shows you that Fantom topped in the last bull run in 2021, made a new all-time high back then at $3.68. This was, let's say, the first wave of a larger 5-wave cycle. The rally at that point was an impulse. We call it wave 1, and the correction into this bear market's low end of 2022, that was a wave 2. And since then, Fantom has been on the rise, slowly but steadily, but has not yet gone parabolic. I think the structure looks quite similar as it did early 2021 before we had this surge in July of 2021. I remember that time very well. We had a really good crypto summer at the time. So it could, maybe something similar could develop like that. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of, comparing fractals. We're using the Elliott-Waves, which are based on the concept of fractals as well, but more objective than just looking visually at fractals. Obviously, we're using the Fibonacci levels as well, which introduce a degree of objectivity. So that is much more important. Now, the idea is that we are in a third wave. Obviously, on the 4-hour chart, we're going to take a look at the micro patterns. And what is really important is that we get a break above $3.68 here. That will be a break above the all-time high, but only that will really confirm the beginning, or let's say, not the beginning, but the unfolding of a third wave. Obviously, it's not necessarily a good idea to wait for that level to break. Well, if you're a breakout trader, maybe, but that is the time when we're entering all-time high territory, and the risk-reward ratio is not that favorable anymore. I mean, at the moment, it is quite interesting if you just look at this chart, looking at long-term targets, which actually start at $8.30. Then above that, we, for example, have the $9.26 level. But let's keep it sort of conservative. $8.30 is sort of the first ideal target for that third wave here to the upside. So long uptrend expected from here. Now let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Before we do that, quick reminder, you can let me know in the comments which cryptocurrency or other asset, you saw them all in the beginning, you want me to cover. We still have a few slots available, not planned this week. Next week, let me know in the comments. Then we can consider those wishes. And also, if you like the updates and if you appreciate the content, the free content we deliver here on YouTube, feel free to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell and you won't miss any of these updates in the future. Thank you very much. So let's go back to the 4-hour chart then. And here you can see that Fantom is in a support zone at the moment, So the idea is that from the early 2024 low, where the market bottomed in blue wave 2, the market rallied again in wave 1. This is magenta wave 1. We're now in a correction, which I call a WXY correction here on this chart. So that's sort of how we've labeled that. WXY in magenta wave 2. Support zone is between 76.8 and 50 cents. And below the 50 cent level, well, there's only really the 30-cent level left as invalidation point of this scenario, but already below 50 cents or 50.47 cents, the overall scenario here starts to break. The structure is currently on very thin ice, but you know, they turn around at an instant in these cryptocurrencies. They like to do that. So a third wave rally from here could send the price then in the short term above $1.22, and then obviously attack the long-term resistance level that I just showed you here on the weekly chart, $3.68. So overall, that gives you a good idea of where you could potentially stop out if you are interested in taking a trade from this area. This is obviously a wave 2 pullback. The next rally should be a third wave. That would be a third wave of a smaller wave degree within that larger third wave. Obviously, if you are not too familiar with Elliott-Wave, the structure suggests obviously that the third wave would also be a 5-wave move. That's part of the Elliott-Wave, let's say, rule book. And within those 5 waves then, like wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, also the wave 1 is a 5-wave move. The wave 3 is, and so that is, you know, waves within waves. We have this concept, and we see these smaller degree patterns here. So if you are taking a trade here, it's up to you how you do that, but you could, for example, use this support zone, set a stop loss 1% below the box. That is one way of doing it. Or you set the stop loss below the invalidation point, below 30 cents. Then you're obviously further away from the current price. So that means you might need to adjust your position size accordingly. It always depends on the level of risk you want to take. But still, if the third wave is starting to unfold from here, the reward to risk ratio would be pretty favorable. Depending on where you set the stop loss, it would still be favorable if you set it below 30 cents. It's just, if you imagine, even a rally to $1.22 would offer a decent reward to risk ratio if you set the stop below the box, but a break above it, especially if the rally takes it to $8.30, you won't find that really very often outside of crypto. So that's really the benefit of the crypto space. But because these are speculative altcoins, risk management is very, very important. So that's the update about Fantom. Hope you enjoyed the update. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell. Let me know in the comments what kind of asset you want me to cover. And also, if you're interested, yeah, register for free, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.